Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so Skip, Shannon, let's get to it.
Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from LA. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. Good morning over there.
Good morning. How you doing, Jenny?
Those Clippers, they just keep winning down in the basement, in the shadows. That's 6 in a row. Nobody even notices. They've beaten 6 straight teams, all currently in the playoffs. Last night, they blew out the Bucks without Paul George, without Ibaka, without Pat Bev, and without Rondo. It's unbelievable. They're so much better than the Lakers. It's a joke, and nobody knows it. We're not going to talk about them for 1 second on this show today. You're on. Go.
Whew.
Are you going to tell me they're going to hit 19 threes every game?
Listen,
Exactly.
They are so much better than they were last year, and here they come after you.
Wake me up when Paul George and all those guys do Kawhi don't choke down the stretch.
Yeah, wake me up when Rondo doesn't let them choke.
I hope both of you are awake for a packed show, guys.
Okay,
Can we get this thing started? In the latest post-free agency power rankings, there are 2 familiar teams at the top. The Chiefs landed the top spot thanks to reworking their offensive line. And despite beating Kansas City in the Super Bowl, the Buccaneers landed at the 2nd spot. And then in the NFC East, Dak Prescott and the Cowboys led the way at 18, while the Giants came in at 21, and the Washington football team landed at 22. So, Shannon, let's start here at the top. Do you agree with Kansas City over Tampa here?
Yeah, when I look at it, I'm looking at, did the team improve? And if you look at what Kansas City were able to do, obviously their offensive line, especially in the Super Bowl, was a source of contention. It was a weakness for them. And they addressed that issue. They signed Joe Tooney. They went out and Kyle Long, maybe after that year and a half off, Skip, maybe it's done him well because he's a phenomenal player prior to him having these injuries. I think he had a shoulder injury, had an ankle injury. So they bring him back. Now they're going to get the opt-in, Laurent Duvernay-Tardif. He comes back. Niang, he opts back in. So, Skip, I think from an offensive line, and I know people say, well, Tampa destroyed them. Tampa destroyed that version of Kansas City. I would have liked to have seen, and maybe the outcome is no different, I would have liked to have seen the team that showed up in October or early November. I would have liked to see that team with the offensive linemen, everybody intact, and then we play from there. But Kansas City said we have some issues. And also yesterday, Skip, I think it was yesterday, maybe it was Sunday, they signed Jaron Reed, who had a nice career in Seattle. 1 year had 10 sacks, another year had 8 sacks. Pair him on the interior with Chris Jones. Now, I still think maybe a linebacker, maybe a corner, but I like what they've done. I think they've addressed needs. Did Tampa get any better? That's the question. Did they get any better? And you said, well, they brought everybody back. Kansas City brought everybody back. It still comes down to injuries. If you get it, if you can stay relatively healthy, you have an excellent chance. But I just like what Kansas City was able to do, addressing serious needs, which is the offensive line was porous down the stretch, especially. Assembly got hurt. You had the 2 opt-outs. Both your tackles get injured. And so that was a shell of what we saw early in the season with Kansas City. But Andy Reid says, I don't want this to happen again on my watch. He addressed those issues. I like the Jaron Reed addition. Tampa re-signed all their guys. And we'll see if that pays off because the year before, Kansas City re-signed all their guys, and it didn't work out in the end. So I love what Kansas City was able to do.
You love what Kansas City was able to do, and you still think the Chiefs are better than the Buccaneers.
That wasn't the question.
Okay. Well, yes, it was. They're ranked first to Tampa second.
Better, hold on. Better as a team?
Well, should they be 1 or 2?
I put them at 1.
You put them at 1.
I put them at 1.
You're comfortable. They're a better team than the Buccaneers.
Because, Skip, it's kind of hard, like, where was the improvement that Tampa made? So, in other words, you're saying Tampa was so great, they were so overwhelming, they didn't need to make any improvements.
Okay. So, here's what I think about this. I'm going to remind everybody, for the final 3 quarters of the regular season game, albeit at Tampa between Kansas City and what I call Tampa Bay, the final 3 quarters, Tampa Bay won that game 24-10. Now, they ended up losing 27-24 because they could not stop Tyreek, who went off for 203 yards receiving in the first quarter. a nightmare of a disaster. But after that, they settled in, locked in. Brady started to figure out the defense, and here they came and they won the last 3 quarters 24-10. They won the Super Bowl 31-9, and it was a flat-out butt kick.
Yeah.
So if I add up 24-10 and 31-9 over the final 7 quarters that these two teams competed with each other, the score was 55-19 in favor of Tom Brady's team. And that score haunts me because once upon a time, my Oklahoma Sooners lost to the USC Trojans in the national championship game 55-19. But that is a complete and utter wipeout. And you cannot tell me that the Buccaneers aren't, as we speak, on paper, because they kept everybody.
Right.
You can't tell me they're not better than the Chiefs.
But Skip, did they improve?
Okay, here's the point that you're missing. Did they improve? Yes, that they did so because they had no subtraction. What happens in the age of free agency? Well, everybody loses a bunch of somebodies. You just can't help not lose a bunch of players. Let's just look at the Chiefs. What did they lose? They lost Le'Veon Bell, no big deal, but Williams was a big deal because he could have been the MVP of the Super Bowl 2 years ago.
Right.
They did lose Sammy Watkins, and you can scoff all you want, but he was at least a factor in their offense as the 3rd or 4th receiver. And then they lost 2 offensive linemen that played in the shadows, and Austin Ryder and Stefan Wisniewski, the center, and then Mitchell Schwartz and Eric Fisher were their 2 studs, and they just had to let them go because they were afraid of both of their injuries.
Skip, they weren't there in the Super Bowl.
Okay, but I'm just saying, Wisniewski and Ryder were there in the Super Bowl, and now they've brought in Kyle Long out of retirement. Do you realize from 2016 to 2019, he managed to play 30 of 64 games. Mm-hmm. So 34 out of 64 he missed. He played fewer games than he missed. And you just suddenly brought him back after a year and a half out of retirement.
Yep.
And he was pretty awful in the few games that he played in 2019. The last game he ever played in his career was October 19th of 2019. And you're saying he's going to be a savior of your offensive line?
I believe a lot of that, Skip. If you look at him early in his career when he was injury-free, he was a dominant left guard. He's one of the premier offensive linemen in all of football.
For what it's worth, in the 4 games that he played in 2019, he graded the 3rd worst offensive guard in football.
He was hurt.
Okay, all right.
You can't play this game hurt.
Okay, and so they go out and pay a ton of desperate money to a Joe Thuney that Belichick let walk. He franchise tagged him the year before, and then he said, you know what? There's no way he lived up to the tag. He graded the 10th best offensive guard in the year he was franchise tagged. And Belichick said, I'm done. I'm not even going to try because I'm going to splash my cash elsewhere.
Right.
So he lets Joe Thuney walk, and Kansas City is so desperate, they splash cash all over Joe Thuney, and I don't think he's that great. I don't think he's going to change lives.
So in other words, he's not an upgrade of what they had.
Well, maybe a slight, but what they needed was Trent Williams, and they came close. According to Trent Williams, it was a close call, but he remained in San Francisco. Well, you can't tell me that line is anywhere near as dominant as it was last year. It just isn't. And plus, he's completely rebuilt, and they're going to have to figure out new chemistry and unity and cohesion.
But the question is, will they be as bad as they were in the Super Bowl? That's the question, because that's what they're guarding against. Okay, yes, once Schwartz went out, once Fisher went out, the opt-outs, they had done a great job. But, Skip, remember, Osemele ends up getting hurt, who was playing really well at left guard. So now you got 2 guys inserted into the lineup that were going to be swing players. And then you had 2 guys that were playing guard that got bumped out to tackles that really can't be tackles. Skip, you remember Mike Remmers against Carolina? Von Miller was Super Bowl MVP against Remmers.
Yep. Okay. Well, he's back. Good luck with that.
Maybe he's better at a right. Okay. Maybe he's better at guard than at tackle.
So I thought Rashad Breeland was pretty good at corner last year. He was a starter, and he's gone.
No, he's not. He wasn't very good.
I thought he was pretty good, and Damian Wilson was a starter all year on defense for you, and he's gone. No. So you had loss. You had lots of losses, and you can't tell me it's just all about Patrick Mahomes because he didn't play very well in either of the Super Bowls that I've watched him play.
Skip.
So don't give me that, because here's the fact that you are avoiding right now. Since 1970, this year's Tampa is only the 5th team that has brought back all 22 from the year before.
Right.
And it's been since the 2010 Vikings in the era of free agency that anybody was able to keep all of their players.
Right.
The mere fact that they kept everybody is inconceivable. You bet against it. You thought it was impossible to keep all those players. So you say, how did they get better? Well, the point is they're the only team that didn't get worse on losses. You can talk about additions, but they were the best team easily. When we got to the Super Bowl, you had seen them march through Washington and New Orleans and Lambeau Field, and they were just clearly the best football team.
Let me ask you a question. Last year, how many people did Kansas City lose? On the Super Bowl team that won the Super Bowl against San Francisco, how many players did they lose?
I don't know. Till they going into last year?
Yes.
I don't know. We're not doing that topic, so I don't know. I didn't look at it.
That's my point, Skip.
Okay, well, what is your point? How many did they lose? I don't know. Help me out. Tell me how many.
They had the opt-outs.
Okay.
They had, Tardif opted out and Niang opted out.
All right.
And I think, you know what? And I think their running back opted out.
He did.
But if you look at
Damian
them,
Williams opted out.
Up until the injuries befell the offensive line, Skip, they were playing unbelievable. The way the Kansas City Chiefs are built, they're built like a lot of teams. If we have a dynamic offense, we're going to put points on the board, force you to make you become one-dimensional, then we could go head hunt your quarterback. Well, if we can't do that, if teams can run the football, or it's a nip-and-tuck ball game where you can't make the other team one-dimensional, Kansas City's defense wasn't that good even when they won the Super Bowl. It's always been about their offense. That's why they fell behind 24-0. That's why they fell behind 17-7. And what happened? Pat Mahomes got hot. He forced the other team. They took Derrick Henry out of the game, put the ball in Tannehill's hands, and he couldn't do anything.
Okay. So you said, wow, they signed Jaron Reed. Well, Seattle let him walk, and they signed Taco Charlton. You've laughed at Taco Charlton, right?
He got a couple of sacks last year for them.
Okay.
He got more sacks for them than he got for your Cowboys.
Okay. So my point is, I don't see how they got any better. Maybe they're somewhat better in the offensive line, but as a football team, they didn't get shockingly better. And Tampa Bay not only stayed the same, but what did Brady say during Super Bowl week leading up to the game? We will be better next year.
Okay, that's your question?
And they will be because of continuity, repetition. They're going to run it back because they didn't have much of an offseason because of the pandemic.
Let me ask you a question. That's the very same thing that Dak Prescott and Mike McCarthy. We will be better next year. What team?
Who cares about what the Cowboys say?
Until now, who cares? What team says we're not going to be better next year than the previous year? Name the time somebody's ever said that. You make it like it's breaking news. Tom Brady said we're going to be better.
Time out. When in the history of football has a quarterback left one team and gone to another that was 7-9?
Peyton Manning.
7-9. No, they weren't 7-9. They won the freaking division. They won the division. They won a playoff game at home. They won a playoff game. We're talking about the Succaneers, the worst franchise in the history of sports and winning position.
Win position. But what about the talent? What about the talent level?
They were 7-9.
What about the talent level?
It changed because they got the best quarterback in pro football. Okay, did they play any preseason games in the history of this league?
Nobody played any preseason games. Okay,
I'm asking you, did any team in the history of this league ever not have any preseason games? No, it's never happened. It was a pandemic.
The last pandemic, there was no football going on in 1970, excuse me.
Tom Brady took over a team that had no offseason, and he quickly molded it into his team, and they went and won the Super Bowl. It's impossibly great.
Nobody had an offseason. Stop making it seem like Tom Brady was up against something nobody else was.
He was starting over with a new team that had no idea how to win football games.
So he's starting over playing quarterback. He had never played quarterback before.
Had he ever played with Tampa Bay? No.
Has he ever?
Never.
Has he ever had that much talent before?
He's thrown to receivers in the park in Tampa and got run out of the park.
Has he ever had that kind of offensive talent?
Okay. But it takes, as you well know, it takes repetition. You can't just throw it together with no preseason games and say, hey, go win the Super Bowl. And they did. So they did. So let me ask you a question. So from the preseason to the Super Bowl, they played no games. They had no practice. It was just preseason. Okay, Tampa, you going to the Super Bowl in the NFC. Okay, Kansas City, you going to the AFC. So nobody practiced. Nobody played any games. Well, obviously.
Okay, then you get better.
Okay, but you can't get better on the fly. You know it.
Why
I know
you can't?
It. Okay, you can't get Super Bowl better. Shannon, they kicked your team's ass. They kicked it all over the field. Did you hear what they said after the game? Did you hear Devin White on our show? Did you hear Levante Davis? We kicked their ass.
They did, Skip.
Okay.
Okay, but why didn't they say that in October? All I said was
It takes time to come together as a football team when you get thrown together.
Skip, all I said was I would have liked to see the version that showed up in October play in the Super Bowl. The outcome may have been no different. The outcome could have easily been the exact same. But wouldn't you have liked to see that?
All I know is everybody is back. I thought they would lose a couple of these guys, unless it's Antonio Brown leaving, but I don't think he's going to leave. So I think they're completely intact, which in this day and age is impossibly great. You bet against it. You said they're going to lose Shaq Barrett, they're going to lose Levante David, and they didn't. You're going to lose Sue. No, you didn't lose Sue.
So in other words, even though they didn't get better, because they stayed the same, everything's okay. So they had the best free agency.
Yeah, by far, because they could have lost all those players, and you thought they were going to lose 2 or 3 of them.
But, okay, so they have no weakness. So the Buccaneers have no weakness.
Again, the defense was a weakness all year, but it came together right on schedule at New Orleans.
So I'm just trying to figure out, how did they lose all them games then? How did they lose 4 games if they got no weakness? They lost 5 games. So how do you lose 5 games with no weaknesses?
Because the defense got torched numerous times.
So what about Brady when Brady didn't show up against Chicago or against the Rams? Against New Orleans.
Tom Brady, according to Pro Football Focus, graded out the second best quarterback in pro football during the regular season and the first best quarterback during the postseason. I'd say that's pretty great. That qualifies him as the best graded quarterback for the entire season in football.
Just look, Pro Football Focus does what it does. Okay, fine. I don't really take anything what they say because, hey, I like to think that I played and I watched tape. I can watch tape and do all that too. But the fact of the matter is, I'm not trying to diminish what Tampa has done. Winning the Super Bowl is hard work. But you said name the team that's played in the pandemic. Well, they weren't playing football in 1917. So it was unprecedented circumstances for everyone.
Okay, but you would have to admit, if you throw a quarterback in with a new team and you give him no preseason, it's going to be hard to figure that out on the fly.
So they had no practice. So they went into the first game of the season having no practices.
They didn't even get a bye week until after the Kansas City loss. It was the latest bye week in football.
But they got a bye week. And they got an opportunity to practice before they played their first game.
And then they went 8-0 out of the bye week.
Skip, we see a lot of times guys practice and never play in the preseason. LaDainian Tomlinson, we've seen guys not even play the preseason game. So don't make it seem like, if you got to have preseason in order to be good. There's a reason why. If they thought the preseason was that important, they wouldn't be cutting it.
So clearly, laughably, Tampa should be ranked above Kansas City. But I'm glad Tampa's here because this will just inspire Tom Brady, who's now on vacation in Costa Rica. He'll hear about this, and it will just make him even madder.
It's funny how everything is about, Tom Brady. I mean, KD said something about a team, and Tom Brady says, you're exactly right. But the first thing out of your mouth was, this is going to inspire Tom Brady. You didn't say anything about it's going to inspire the team. So what I'm starting to see, unless it's LeBron James, when LeBron James loses, it's LeBron James. When LeBron James wins, it's a team. Tom Brady loses, it's Coach Belichick, it's the defense was porous. Tom Brady wins, it's Brady. I'm starting to see that. That's a reoccurring theme I'm starting to see.
Well, all he did was win his 7th Super Bowl.
I thought it was a team game. I thought football was the ultimate team game.
Well, it is. And again,
it is, except with Tom Brady.
He is the greatest leader in the history of sports.
I would not doubt no leadership. We could debate that. But as far as leadership with sports, okay, fine. He's a great player, historically transcendent. You want to say he's the greatest? Okay, I ain't here to debate that topic this morning. But my thing is, Skip, is that you said that they had no weaknesses. All they had to do was refill the tank of the gas that they've been using, and everything was going to be okay. Okay, we're going to see.
Yeah, they'll get better. They should be the prohibitive favorite to win next year's Super Bowl.
So that's your question. Of the other 31 teams, who else should get better? Should anybody else get better other than Tampa?
I would hope so.
Why not? I mean, so Tampa didn't get an opportunity to practice and won the Super Bowl.
So speaking of getting better, my Dallas Cowboys are ranked only 18th on this list, but they're ranked first in the NFC East.
And then let me get to it. And you take that to heart with Pro Football Focus. Because you said...
Well, it's not Pro Football Focus, but...
ESPN. You said, Jerry, what about the pie? What about the defense? Jerry, the pie, the defense. Mm-hmm. So what did the Cowboys address that you say, you know what? I like what we did.
They got rid of Mike Nolan and replaced him with Dan Quinn, who has to be
Atlanta
better.
got rid of him.
Who has to be better. Has to
Why?
be better. Because Mike Nolan was a disaster. I was calling for his job after 4 games, and it should have ended after 4 games.
Well, you should have been listening to the Atlanta radio because they were calling for Dan Quinn's job after the Super Bowl.
I will take Dan Quinn over Mike Nolan any day. And
based on?
The more I look, well, at least he coached a successful defense in Seattle, and at least he got a team to the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he did coach that defense. I think he was the defensive coordinator of that.
Yeah.
And the more I look at Keanu Neal as a linebacker instead of a safety, that will work because he was a first-round pick. He was the 7th overall pick. So if you put him with Jalen Smith, who was a 2nd-rounder, and Leighton Vander Esch, who was the 19th overall pick, I think you got a little bit of star power at linebacker. And then you've got DeMarcus Lawrence, who was a 2nd-round pick at one end, and you got Randy Gregory, another 2nd-round pick at the other end. And in the middle, you got Neville Gallimore, who was a 3rd-rounder, and Tristan Hill, who was a 2nd-rounder. Now you've got high draft picks across your front.
The same guy. They had that second. They had that 1st-round pick in Wolf Hunter. They had the 2nd-round pick in Jalen Smith. They had all the guys they had last year, and they were terrible on defense.
Mm-hmm. Well, and Aldon Smith, they're saying might be able to be brought back. They might be able to fit him in if he can't find a home anywhere else. So that would help a little bit on depth. And then,
how's it gonna help, Skip? Y'all so anxious to let the man go, so clearly he doesn't mean that much.
And if KZ can come off his Achilles tear, at least did he not tie for the league in interceptions one time? Yeah, he did. And over a 2-year period, he led the league in interceptions. Yes. Okay, well I'll take that because Donovan Wilson had a breakout year last year as the strong safety.
But you just told me when teams get rid of a player, they said no more. Mm-hmm. So Atlanta let him go. Well, they let Keanu Neal. They let him go.
Okay, but will you take him over what I had last year? Yes.
How much, Skip? Is he really better than what you had last year?
Who? Which one?
Yeah.
Keanu
Neal, is he really better than what you had last year?
He's better than the linebackers we had last year. Is he better than Sean Lee at age 96?
You hated Jeff Heath. And come to find out, Jeff Heath was better than anything that you had.
Well, he probably was until now. I don't think he's better than what I have now, but I kept telling you, Xavier Lost in the Woods was a bust. He was a problem.
Skip,
you
make it seem like Awuzie was just locking it down.
Okay, I'll have 2 Alabama stud corners starting. I'll have Surtain and Trevon.
Oh, so that's where you go. You take it past Surtain.
Well, it's just a done deal. That's what we will do. And we'll have 2, and they're stud corners. Again, they're young, and they're going to give up some plays.
What about the Farley kid out of Virginia Tech?
Well, I'm taking Surtain on pedigree because of his daddy. I'm taking it.
So, but all seriousness, do you believe Dallas made more significant upgrades than Washington?
Okay, I just think their offense, because if you get Ty Smith back and Lyle Collins back and Zach Martin back, and they do stay healthy, which is a possibility. Well, it's a possibility.
No,
they say they're all healthy right now.
Okay, when was the last time Ty Smith played all 16 games?
What if he does? We'll be good.
Well,
do we not have 3 potential 1,000-yard receivers? Yes, we do. We have half of a Zeke and all of a Tony Pollard, so that'll work. I'm good with that.
So what, since you said improvement, what happens if the Washington's defense improves from last year?
Okay. We got the Dak attack back, right? And we got a happy Dak. We got a paid Dak. We got the cloud lifted off our locker room.
You said that brought more pressure.
Okay, well, we'll see if he can live up to it. But if he does, he has made a couple of Pro Bowls, then we'll be good to go because I've got the best quarterback in the division. You can say by default, and I will give you that, but I've got the best quarterback. He's better than Fitzmagic for 16 games.
True.
Right?
Yes.
He's better than Daniel Jones for 16 games.
Yes.
I believe right now he's better than Jalen Hurts for 16 games, but I love Jalen Hurts, and he will slowly but surely get better and better.
But so are you just going to trot your offense out there? You're not going to put your defense on the field?
I just told you it's got to be better than it was last year.
No, it doesn't have to be.
It does. It does. It can't be worse.
Just because it was pathetic last year, you just don't get it better because you hope it.
I will bet you 10 cases of due. We do not have we won't allow 300 yards rushing in any single game.
I hope not.
Well, I'm just saying, is that not better?
Skip, that's a real low bar that you try to get somebody to do.
3 other times we allowed 200 plus.
I bet you do that. I bet somebody will rush for 200 yards on you.
Okay, I'll take that bet.
So no team will rush for 200 yards in a game.
Nobody will go for 200.
Okay.
All right.
Done deal. 2 cases.
2 cases. All right.
2 cases. I got to remember this. Oh, I have a feeling we could have stayed on that list throughout the entire show, but we got to move on. No mercy.
36, LeBron James, like he's 26.
LeBron, he saw it and watch him call it. He's going to call it.
LeBron fadeaway. Oh, he hit it. Oh, my goodness.
LeBron with the hammer. And one.
LeBron with 2.
Lets it fly. And hits.
Oh, he turned the other way. Logo 3 for LeBron.
You just have to bow down.
All right, well, get this, guys. Bronny James seems to agree with last week's report that the Nets are scared of seeing LeBron in the finals. While talking about Brooklyn's latest signings, Bronny posted on social media saying, quote, all this to stop a 36-year-old man in year 18, followed by, yes, the yawning emoji. Shannon, do you agree with this take? How do you feel about it?
Skip, I don't know if they're necessarily scared, but I know they put these teams together to deal with LeBron James because they know 2 superstars versus 2 superstars. The likelihood of you beating his team is not very good. Skip, let me tell people what actually happened. LeBron James did not start the super team. The Lakers and the Celtics in the 80s had the super teams. But what he did do is that he, a player, says, okay, let's go play together. What he did in 2010, Skip, when he left and went with Chris Bosh and D. Wade. Boston Celtics started this, really. Once LeBron James in 2007, as a 22-year-old, ran through the East, beat the bad boy Pistons 2, who had represented the Eastern Conference for the last 3-4 years, Skip, in the NBA Finals, they know they couldn't do anything with him. Paul Pierce couldn't see him. The Boston Celtics could not see him. And what did they do in 2008, Skip? They made the trade for KG. They made the trade for Ray Allen. And they brought the big 3 together in 2008 to stop LeBron James. LeBron James said, well, this isn't fair. It's 3 against 1. How do y'all expect? Oh, if you're great. Well, you never said Michael Jordan was supposed to beat the big 3 Celtics, but you expect me to do that. So he went and got a team. So what LeBron James did, Skip, is that he empowered the player to say, hey, if teams could put together super teams, bro, if we cool with each other, why can't we? Just like say, hey, bro, we got a good idea. Let's put our money together. We can make it grow. We ain't got to always compete against each other. Because what had happened, Skip, it used to be who's the best player that's never won a ring. Karl Malone, Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, all these guys, Elgin Baylor, all these guys' names would come up. Guys got tired of hearing that. So guys says, okay, you diminish my greatness if I don't have a ring. So they said, you know what? Let's go link up. I don't think people were upset that Kyrie and KD got together. It's just when they added James Harden. Skip, I ain't even talking about no Blake Griffin. Because Blake Griffin had this to say, it's funny, everybody thought I was washed 2 years ago, but now I'm on the narrative change. No, it's not. You still washed. The expectations of you are different. Because in Detroit, you were expected to lead a team. Now you're the 4th or 5th option. So you serve perfectly for that role for your talent level. But to make a short story long and a long story short, everybody's gearing up to stop this 36-year-old in year 18 with Anthony Davis. Now we have Andre Drummond. That's why they did what they did. Because you and I both know when it was 2 superstars against 2 superstars, it was Russell Westbrook, KD versus LeBron and Kyrie. KD couldn't see him. KD couldn't see him. 17-5 before he went to the Golden State Warriors. That's what Kevin Durant's record was against LeBron James. If you don't believe me, go look it up. 2 superstars, KD and West against LeBron and Kyrie. He couldn't see him. He couldn't see him on his best day. And so what he did is that he went with Kyrie. He got James Harden. Got no problem with that. I ain't even talking about no LaMarcus Aldridge and Blake, because they're guys now. They're parts. They're parts. They're not important parts. They're parts. You and I both know. But you know why they did it. You know why they did it. They fear that man. They didn't put no super teams together to beat Jordan. They didn't put no super teams together. Boston started it. Paul Pierce, KG, and Ray Allen started to try to take a 22-year-old down. Can you imagine somebody putting a team together to beat Zion? They put a team together. That's what an equivalent is right now. Let me take my watch. I want to break it. Imagine a team putting a team together of superstars to beat Zion Williamson. That's what they did to do to that man in Cleveland at 22 years of age. If you don't believe it, look it up. Take off.
Your delusion is amusing to me, and I enjoy watching you and your histrionics as you try to sell this to the billions of blind witnesses out there who are receptive to it.
It's facts.
There's no fact that you just uttered. It's nothing but presumptuous baloney. That's what it is. And Bronny, he's just a kid, and he loves his dad, so I've given him the pass here. But trust me, all they're doing in Brooklyn is trying to win a championship. It's not about LeBron. It's about them. Yeah. Them and them only.
Yeah, okay.
Sean Marks came from the Spurs. He knows only Spurs dynasty, and he said, we've got to recreate a dynasty here, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to pull out every stop to do it, and I'm going to go get Steve Nash to run the show as the coach, and he's a two-time MVP, so I'm going for star power. And if I can convince Kyrie to come here, maybe he can convince KD to come here, and then they convinced James Harden to come, and then the dominoes kept falling because everybody wanted to be in Brooklyn.
When did they do that in San Antonio?
What do you mean? They were a dynasty.
Yeah, they were. But I'm saying, when did they go outside and says, okay, I want the best player over here, and I want the best player over there?
Okay, well, they kept surrounding Duncan Parker and Ginobili, whom they stole in the draft, the second two, not the first one, but the second two. That they did it through the draft more than they did it through free agency.
Correct.
Okay, so here's the point. There was a story last week, and it's some trainer who lives out here supposedly, allegedly close to LeBron, and he supposedly, allegedly keeps in close touch with Kyrie, KD, and James Harden, and he's saying they're all scared of LeBron James. That is the biggest bunch of hooey I've ever heard. Trust me, Kevin Durant is not afraid of LeBron James. He had the guts to go join the super team in Golden State that desperately needed him, that got on its knees and cried. You told me that Draymond went in the parking lot crying on the phone, you've got to come save us.
Right.
And KD said, okay, I'm done with Russ. I can't win with Russ, with him as my primary decision maker. I'll do that. I'm going to put you guys over the top against LeBron. And he went into LeBron's house in back-to-back game threes in the NBA Finals and took the game over at LeBron's expense. And because he did that twice in a row, he won back-to-back Finals MVPs, Finals MVPs. And I just thought he was the best player on the floor, and he emerged as the best player on the planet. And again, maybe when he was a baby, he had fear of LeBron, but he ain't a baby anymore. And Kyrie never had any fear of LeBron. In fact, he was the only player who ever just stood up to LeBron and challenged him the moment that LeBron came home. And they clashed repeatedly because Kyrie said, I can do things you can't do, and I'm not going to listen to you.
Except win.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Kyrie was in the lottery every year. Yeah. Kyrie got Andrew Wiggins. Kyrie got Anthony Bennett. Kyrie got Dion Waiters. Kyrie got Tristan Thompson. And one thing Kyrie could not do without LeBron was win.
The one thing Kyrie could do that LeBron can't do is close, because Kyrie hit the shot of shots, Game 7 at Oracle, to win LeBron a championship.
And you know what rubbed Kyrie the wrong way? He hit that shot, and LeBron block got more credit. People talk about the block more than they do the shot. And it rubbed Kyrie the wrong way because he was never going to be bigger than GOAT James. Just like it rubs Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant said it. If LeBron James is the GOAT, I beat him twice. What does that make me? Even though he won Finals MVP, nobody thought he was better than GOAT James because he joined a two-time unanimous MVP. He joined a team that went 73-9 that kicked his butt when he had him down 3-1. That's what rubbed KD the wrong way.
So all those gullible fools out there who thought the block was better than the shot, it's the most overrated block in the history of blocks. It's the bicycle built for two because J.R. Smith undercuts Iguodala, who has to slow down and gather himself, and he can't dunk it anymore because he got cut off at the pass, and he tries to lay it up, and LeBron gets a chance to swoop in from behind as Iguodala has to slow up thanks to J.R. Smith. It's a big assist. It's 2-on-1.
Game 7, NBA Finals.
Yeah. Okay, Kyrie hit the shot of shots. Nobody could make a shot. Kyrie finally said, I got this. And that was ball game, thanks to Kyrie Irving. And then he said, I'm sick of this guy. I'm sick of his ego. I'm sick of his diva-ness. I'm sick of his stat padding. I'm out.
Okay, hold on. So I'm to make sure I'm hearing you correct. Kyrie doesn't have an ego. Kyrie has no diva.
I'm sure he does, but he
No.
Okay.
You was emphatic that LeBron James is a diva, that LeBron James has an ego. So I want you to be just as emphatic. Don't tell me maybe. Does Kyrie have an ego?
Yeah, it's not as big as LeBron's, but he's
not as big as LeBron.
Nope. Okay, so the point is, do you think he's afraid of LeBron James? No, stop it.
Skip.
Maybe James Harden, but he hasn't really faced LeBron in any big championship moment.
You remember James Harden last game that he played in against with the Rockets? LeBron James came there and beat the brakes off him. And what did he say? I want out. I just can't do it. I done tried everything I could. I ain't do it. We can't match up against that team, against that guy. That's what he did do. Kevin Durant, what did he do? Run to Golden State because he could not see LeBron James by himself. Hey, what did Golden State do? Golden State went and got Kevin Durant because they know it's over, guys. We can't do anything with him and Kyrie. The team as a symbol right now with Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, Draymond, we can't see them again.
I agree.
And they went and loaded up, got KD.
Yeah, because it was Kyrie and LeBron. And obviously Kevin Love.
Yeah.
Okay, so they couldn't hold him off. They had him down 3-1, but they couldn't hold him off. So they needed Kevin Durant, and he changed life for Golden State. So you think they're now, as they have joined forces in Brooklyn, do you think they're afraid of a Lakers team? And I hate to burst your bubble over this, that won a bubblegum championship last year? Because that's what it was. It was just pure bubblegum. Because obviously, as
you wouldn't have said that had the Clippers won.
What Jared Dudley say? I'm going to quote him. The great Jared Dudley said about a month ago, them boys did not want to be in that bubble, and that was the Clippers. They did not want to be there. They were coming and going and going and coming.
Okay.
And what happened? They were fixated on beating the Lakers, but nobody wanted to be in the bubble. And they never got close as a team. Well, that's a big question because I think a lot of them didn't want to go in the first place.
You didn't have to.
Yeah.
You didn't have to, because there are a lot of guys that opted out. There's a lot of guys that opted out and said, nah, I'm good.
So you dodged the Clipper bullet.
No, we didn't dodge the bullet. They couldn't fire.
Okay. And then what happened? Here came Miami, the 5th seed. You got to play the 5th seed from the East in the NBA Finals in the bubble. And they had just lost Goran Dragic, their leading playoff scorer. And in game 1, they lost Bam, their heart and soul. And you're beating your chest over, I want a championship. Oh, way to go.
But see,
nobody in Brooklyn is afraid of that. But nobody.
Hold on. You didn't say anything about the injuries that Kansas City suffered. All you said is Tampa won the championship. At the end of the day, that's what's going to matter. The 2020 NBA champs are the Lakers.
Yep.
Now, 50 years from now, nobody will remember that it was in the middle of a pandemic. But that's what, Skip, you make it seem like everybody else was under different circumstances what the Lakers were. Everybody had to get tested every day. Everybody was asked to obey protocols every day. Everybody, if something happened, you had to quarantine. So the Lakers were under the same guidelines as everybody else. They won. Give them credit.
Okay. I'll give you a little credit, but you got to give Brooklyn credit because they're not looking over their shoulder. Their eyes on the prize.
Skip, I didn't say they're afraid. Why would you be afraid, Skip? If I got 3 guys and I'm going against 2, I like my chances. I like my chances.
Yeah, but it's not about the 2 in L.A. It's just about the 3 in Brooklyn. That's all it's about.
So Kyrie and KD weren't enough.
Well, I mean, if James says he wants to come, you're going to shut him out? We don't need him?
Hold on. That's what you say about LeBron. Everybody say when LeBron says we need this, so when LeBron said we top heavy with just him and Kyrie, you killed him. They not top heavy with Kyrie and KD. You need James Harden. KD want all the damn good players.
I know, but LeBron was complaining about being top heavy.
So in other words, as long as you don't complain, as long as you don't make your complaints public, you good with that.
No, well, LeBron is saying we don't have any bench. We're just top heavy as bleep.
I just asked you a simple question because now everybody said, well, LeBron is out there recruiting. Sean Marks said that he ran this to James Harden by Kyrie and KD. That's what he said. Now, if it's a lie, he told it. If he gave alternative facts, he did that. He said, I ran this by KD and Kyrie.
Okay.
LeBron does that. Oh, LeBron recruiting. LeBron doing all this. What player is on that roster that KD and Kyrie didn't sign up on. Blake Griffin is there because they signed up on it.
Okay.
LaMarcus Aldridge is there because but LeBron do that. Oh, LeBron tried to be GM. Oh, LeBron tried to be all this and that.
Well,
you got so much to say.
He is.
So what's
the coach and the GM.
So what
you don't think they run everything through LeBron?
Kyrie told you Steve Nash wasn't the coach.
Okay.
LeBron has never said that. Okay. Kyrie said it.
Okay, but we know who coaches the Lakers.
No. You see what you did? You talk about what you know as opposed to what somebody told you. You don't know that. That's speculation.
Well, I just watch him. He takes himself in and out of games without even looking at the coach.
Hold on.
Well, he just does.
A man took 2 weeks off and didn't tell the coach that he was taking 2 weeks off.
Okay. All right. You got that.
Oh, yeah, okay,
we'll see. Yeah, but when he comes to play, he comes to play.
So LeBron James don't come to play?
Yeah, he does. Okay. But he's up there. He's year 18.
Okay.
They're not afraid of that.
Whoa.
Trust me, they're not afraid.
Whoa.
All they want to do is do what Brooklyn's going to do.
We're going to do what we do.
Well, okay.
We just got to get back healthy. Just get back whole.
First thing you got to do is get past the Clippers. That's your biggest problem.
You don't worry about the Clippers.
Trust me.
We don't worry about the Clippers.
Okay.
We don't worry about somebody in the base. There's a reason why.
Focus on his health first. And you know what? LeBron has had a lot of time. He has been tweeting about the NCAA tournament, men's and women's, and we need to discuss it as well. Top overall seed, Gonzaga is just 1 win away from advancing to the Final Four. Tonight, the Zags need to get through red-hot USC to advance and face the winner of UCLA. Michigan, Shannon, how confident are you with your bet of Gonzaga versus the field?
I feel good, Skip.
Feeling good?
Now, Baylor looked good last night, Skip.
Yeah.
They got some guys that can, they're like every guy can really take you off the dribble except a handful. The guys, they were raining threes, and even every time Arkansas would make a move, they found a way to answer. Michigan looked good, but I just don't know without Isaiah Livers. I don't know if they have enough firepower. But I feel good with Gonzaga. Because the thing is, Skip, is that even though their two best players have not had outstanding games, they still found ways to win games by double digits. And if you look at what Jalen Suggs is going to be a top 3, top 5 pick, and he hasn't played well in the tournament, and the conference, he hasn't played particularly well, and they're still winning these games. So I feel good. Obviously, they got the big kid Mobley from USC, but it's now or never. I don't know if Gonzaga will ever get a better opportunity than what they have that's before them right now, Skip. We got some teams that we don't normally see in Final Fours. We got Baylor. University of Houston hadn't been back since the Dream Elijah won. That was, 84, when they went back and they lost to Patrick Ewing. And so we got some teams there that we didn't expect to see. But I expect Gonzaga to get past USC. I expect them to cut down the nets in Indy. Where everybody's in Indy. Like you got to travel anymore, Skip. So it's a lot. I think it's a lot easier to play, Skip, because, you win the game and you go back to your hotel. You don't have to go back to school and do all this other stuff. You're right there. So hopefully you pack, probably about 15, 16 pair of underwear, some T-shirts, because you pack for a 29-day, however long the tournament is, a month. You pack for a month, and they straight.
So you're good.
I feel good.
You just saying that?
Hold on. You had Arkansas, did you? Did you have Arkansas? They're gone, right? You had somebody else that got beat.
They're all gone.
Oh, yeah, you all take gone.
But I've got one team left, and it's called TF, the field. And I am extremely comfortable with TF, because TF is a juggernaut. It is a juggernaut. I got superpowers on TF, the field. I got 3 great shots at the Zags. I've got USC tonight. Then I've got the winner of Michigan, UCLA, and I just got a sneaking suspicion it's going to be UCLA. I'm good with that. I just think they might. They're 6.5-point underdog. USC's tonight is an 8.5-point underdog to your Gonzaga, your number one prohibitive favorite. And then in the finals, if it gets that far, I've got the Baylor Bears.
We already did a number on Baylor. Did we do a number on Baylor already?
Yep.
Did we do a number on them?
This is March, and this is madness. And let's start with USC. They have caught fire, and they have all the right ingredients to give you nothing but fits, because they are long and they are athletic and they are strong.
They're big guys.
They come across as a bunch of grown men, except for Evan Mobley, the most talented player on the floor, who's 7 feet tall, just a freshman, obviously. But his big brother is a big brother, and he is a handful. And they're going to come at you in athletic waves. And they rank overall in defense 4th in the country, USC does, but from against 2-point shots, they rank number 1. They held their opponents to 41% from the 2-point range.
We let them threes fly. Okay. We ain't even coming inside the line.
Okay, well, you better make them because this thing is usually just a 3-point shooting tournament. That's what it is. It's just a 3-point shoot off. That's what it is from night to night. Like my Alabama team, they had led the nation in made threes because they led the nation in attempted threes.
Right.
And they get up to USC, UCLA, right. I'm sorry. And what happens? They go 7 or 28. You're just going to lose. If you shoot 25%, you're going to lose.
You're going home.
Okay, so this will be a 3-point shooting competition tonight, but I think USC will make it so that the Zags can score the basketball from all over the floor, but they're going to get, they score it best from 2. That's what they're one of the leading scorers from 2 in the nation. So they're up against the antidote to what they do best. Right. And I think Evan Mobley, who's probably going to be the 2nd overall pick in the draft, I think he needs to rise and shine against Timmy, of course, who's 6'10", but he's 7 feet and he's averaging 16, 9, and 3 blocks. He is a big-time talent.
Take him outside. We're going to take him outside, see how he moves laterally side to side. Because we got backdoor cut. You know, we got great spacing. Yep. They got 4 guys that can go get you 20 on a given night. And none of the guys that you expected have played particularly well. Yep. So you're going to get an opportunity to see. But, Skip, you make it seem like, where to go out on the limb. You do realize the field was favored at the start of the tournament over Gonzaga. So I wasn't taking it. I gave you the field. That's how confident I was.
Okay. I don't think you're that confident. Because tonight is a big night for you. Because you're going to be... You're going to be pushed to the brink tonight.
Tonight is the night. Like you said, like Betty Wright used to say, tonight is the night.
Yep. Well, you're 8.5-point favorites over a USC that was only an underdog 5 times in 32 games. So they had a very quietly good year. And the Pac-12, to me, I told you from the start, I completely underestimated the Pac-12, which took out all of my teams.
And that's because you overestimated your team. But guess what? After tonight, there will be no more Pac-12.
Okay. The Baylor Bears got COVID racked through the year, and they were in and out and out and in, and they never caught fire because they couldn't catch any rhythm. And last night, I saw a basketball team, and I think you did too.
Oh, yeah, they look good. Yeah.
And I saw Davion Mitchell.
Yeah.
He is the engine for that team. He makes it go. He's only 6'2", but I don't know a better perimeter defender than Davion Mitchell because he reminds me of that Lou Dort for Oklahoma City because he's just a fullback. Yeah. He's got a man's body. He's got physicality and savvy.
And every time Arkansas would make a move, Skip, they put him in the high pick and roll. He get the big guy, he dot, and he get to the rim on him.
Remember, he got in early foul trouble, or I don't think Arkansas would have even gotten back in the game.
I totally agree because then all of a sudden Arkansas turned up the heat and made them turn the ball over and got them right back in the game because I thought it was about to get out of hand. It was 18, Skip. I was like, this thing about to go to 25, 30 in a quick. And next thing you know, it's like, 6 points, 6, 7 points right before the half.
And my man Moses for Arkansas, because he had to have a big game, he goes 2 for 10 because he was guarded by Davion Mitchell the whole game for most of the game. Right. Davion will take Jalen Suggs, and that will be the matchup of the year, and that will decide. If it gets to that in the finals, I'm not sure you're going to get by USC, but if you do, then you're probably, I think you'll have to deal with UCLA just because they're on fire too. And Jaime Jaquez is just rolling. He looks like a pro basketball player in college right now. So you've got your work cut out. You've got 3 in a row.
Yeah, I feel good. I feel good.
Do you?
Yeah, I feel really good about it.
Gonzaga's won how many championships? Let's see. They're sort of like UCLA. They've won none. They've won none.
Hold up. Skip,
wait, Gonzaga's never won a championship.
First of all,
and you don't think the pressure is building on the Zags?
The last time UCLA won a championship, not one guy on that roster was alive. Not one guy can remember who's on that team. The O'Bannon brothers and Ty Sedney. They don't know anything about that, Skip. So that long pass with the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and the Bill Walton and the Michael Ward and the Keith Wilson, now Jamal Wilson, the Henry, all that stuff, forget that. That ain't got nothing to do with now. The past has nothing. That's what you tell me all the time. When I say, well, Skip, what about the past? The past has nothing to do with right now. So what does that have to do? What does UCLA have to do with the past?
What do you always tell me about the Ravens locker room? You walk in it and you just feel the tradition.
Yes.
You just know you're supposed to do it this way.
Yes.
Okay? That's what happens at UCLA.
First of all, Skip, you can't let 26 years pass before you win a championship, and then you talk about we still got tradition. Because, Skip, how many coaches have you had in the last 10 years?
Okay, they still have tradition. They can still see those banners hanging.
Yeah.
Pauley Pavilion.
And guess what? They're not going to hang anymore.
Yep. And USC might not have basketball tradition, but they got football tradition, and those kids know how it feels to walk on that campus when you're the BMOC.
But not at USC. No, Skip.
Yeah.
It's like being the BMOC at UNC. If you're not a basketball player, it doesn't mean nothing. It's just like a Daniel Jones. He walking around Duke. You're not a football player, bro. You don't carry that cachet. There are football schools, there are basketball schools, and you know which one you go to. Kansas, I don't care how good you are at Kansas. You're at a hoop school. Don't forget that.
Okay. USC has tradition of winning, and they will bring it onto the floor tonight against Gonzaga that has never won a championship.
They got a tradition of winning basketball?
No, just winning. They're a winning school. Everybody knows USC. It's from football or from track and field or whatever.
No, if you will tell me about, if you're going to tell me about baseball, no question about it. If you want to tell me football, no question about it. Stop this notion about they got a winning tradition in basketball.
They're going to feel real good about themselves because this is your toughest matchup and your worst nightmare are the USC Trojans. Fight on.
The Trojans saved their best
how you did that?
right now.
I'll be watching.
Fight on. You're just an honorary.
You want to give me
fan
8.5?
No.
You know, the Zags have won their last 26 games by double digits, so something just to keep in mind. I know you're feeling good about the field right now, Skip.
You should be.
He's all in on the Trojans. You heard it here first. No mercy. After trading up from the 12th to the 3rd overall pick in the upcoming NFL draft, Kyle Shanahan admitted that Jimmy Garoppolo was, quote, probably a little pissed off. Shanahan said he expects Jimmy G to play with a chip on his shoulder because of it, and also said, quote, it's going to be hard to find a quarterback that gives us a better chance to win than Jimmy right now, despite the trade. According to Fox Bet Sportsbook, Jimmy G is still the clear favorite to be the Week 1 starter for the Niners. So, Shannon, what is going on here?
Well, Skip, it makes sense. Kyle Shanahan with the move that he made, and we talked about this on Friday, and it came to fruition, Skip, a little after we left the air, that they had made a move. And I said to Skip, if they need a quarterback, they can't stay at 12. And I didn't know they were going to go all the way up to 3. I said maybe to get to top 5, maybe get number 5, and then get a quarterback. But it looks to me, by not going up to 2, they're saying whomever's left, we feel very comfortable in our system. With that being said, it also tells me that Jimmy G gives them a better chance, and maybe Jimmy's going to be the bridge, which is a very expensive bridge unless they rework the contract. And Jimmy's like, well, since y'all took a quarterback, why would I do anything to accommodate you? Because we'll probably put your butt on the street if that's the case. But, Skip, it makes sense because I believe Jimmy G will give them a better chance of winning, say, right now, than maybe one of these rookie quarterbacks will. And how many of these guys are going to probably be your opening day starter other than Trevor Lawrence? Skip, I like guys that have stayed at least, you look at Peyton Manning, he was a 4-year starter. You look at Andrew Luck, he stayed on. There are certain situations, Skip, sometimes where we get a guy that has an outstanding 1-year career. Cam basically had 1-year starter at a major college program and came in and did what he did. But for the most part, I like to see guys get 2 or 3, get a couple of years up under their belt. But this makes sense to me. Jimmy shouldn't be upset. You can't stay healthy. You turn the ball over entirely too much. 2 recipes for disaster that'll get you benched and get you released. And he has a problem with both of those. Skip, he can't stay healthy. He tore his ACL, basically his first year on the job, and then last year he missed all this time with an ankle injury. So what did they expect Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch to do? So I like the move to move up and go get a quarterback. Hell, I wish I knew who they're going to take. Go to 2, we have a pretty good idea. But going to 3, we have no idea who they're going to take. But I like the move. I like holding on to Jimmy. But he also said, Skip, blow me away, and I'll let you have him.
He did say that. So, as much as I like Kyle Shanahan, to me, he looks more and more foolish as he tries to talk in circles and talk his way out of what they just did. I don't get it because they just paid a king's ransom. They just bet their next 3 years, draft picks, first-round picks, obviously, in 22 and 23, to go from 12 up to 3. And I told you yesterday, if you went to 2, I'd be okay with it. If you could somehow go to 1 with that kind of a king's ransom, I'd be great with it.
Would you have been okay with it if they had done the move with Houston Texans, with Deshaun? If Deshaun doesn't have this circling around him,
sure,
they swap places with them and then give up 2022, 2020.
Absolutely. I told you I'd give up 2 more first. I'd give up 24 and 25 for Deshaun Watson. That was whatever's hanging over his head right now.
These allegations.
We don't know where it's going to go,
right.
but it just gets worse and worse. Now they're up to 19. Whew. Okay, back to Kyle. So he says yesterday, as Jenny read, it's going to be hard to find a quarterback who gives us a better chance to win than Jimmy. Yeah, but you're trying to replace Jimmy. Well, He's trying to pin that to just this coming year.
Right.
It's going to be hard to find a quarterback who gives us a better chance to win.
Right.
But if you paid that kind of price to go up high in the draft, to me, I've said this from the start. I'm all about just throw them into the fire. They're going to have to figure it out. But if they're that good, if they're that guy, they just figure it out. Peyton figured it out. He had a rough start, led the league in interceptions.
He had a rough start.
I get it. But Dak Prescott just figured it out. He's got football character and backbone, and the stage was not too big for Dak Prescott, even as a 4th rounder.
But here's the thing. Dak was, a 3-year starter?
He was. I got it. But if we look at Mac Jones, he was in the program long enough, and he started enough big games on huge national stages that I think he would be okay. I don't think he would crumble under the pressure. Would he be great? Is he a transcendent talent? No, he's not.
He seems like a better version, a bigger version of Kirk Cousins.
Probably is. But do I think he'd choke and fall apart and crumble under the fire?
I mean, Skip, he's accurate. The ball comes out quick. He's very decisive with his throws. And I get it. He's throwing to the strike. But, if you had a major college, Skip, you're throwing the guys that's going to be playing at the next level. Trevor Lawrence threw the guys that's playing at the next level.
Okay. All right. So my problem with this whole move is if you've decided on Mac Jones, and they did for what it's worth, and it's probably not worth much, but they did go to his pro day as opposed to Justin Fields' pro day. It could be a huge smokescreen. They could be sitting right on Justin Fields. They may be hoping to influence the Jets to take Mac Jones. Possibly. I don't know. But you're playing with huge fire because you've clearly zeroed in on somebody that you like better than somebody else.
Right.
And now you're a prisoner of the Jets' decision to take their leftover.
Well, the thing is, and John Lynch says, we do not have intel on who someone will take.
Yep.
But we feel very comfortable that there's some very good quarterbacks in this draft, and we're going to be able to get our hands on one of them.
Okay. And as Kyle said, we're going to be left at the altar at number 12. Well, you would be. I've said that for, like, when it was proposed that Mac Jones would fall to Belichick at 15. He's not going to fall to 15. His stock is going through the roof right now.
Right.
So, and I don't know what to do with Trey Lance because I just don't know his game. I know it from YouTube, and that's not enough for me.
Yeah, I've seen this national championship game that one year. But
okay. Could he be the odd man out? Could he be the Aaron Rodgers memorial fall down through the draft? Maybe.
Right.
But people seem to be intrigued enough by him. Mel Kiper says he's the most intriguing prospect he's ever tried to figure out.
Right.
Well, that's pretty intriguing.
Skip, you'll play 1 year, and then you sit out. You opt out of a year, and so all we got is basically 10 games. But after Skip, if you look at the way Andy Reid handled Patrick Mahomes, he went from 27 to 10. Sought him for a year.
Okay, that was different. Yeah, I got it.
Aaron Rodgers, he sought for 3 years.
3 years. It's a long time.
I don't know. No quarterback is going to sit for. I don't know. I don't even know if Jordan Love's going to sit for 3 years. This might be the last year he sits.
It could be. So, Garoppolo. So, again, Kyle says, yeah, he's pissed off. Well, he should be furious because...
No, he shouldn't at himself because he played like a bum.
Okay, well, he did. He played his way into this position.
Yeah, exactly, Skip.
And to your point, he just can't stay healthy. And we saw the quote yesterday from Jermaine Wiggins on a Boston radio show in which he referred to him as Mr. Glass, not the Samuel Jackson character, but just literally Mr. Glass. That the Patriots were looking side-eye at Garoppolo even when he was a Patriot. They could not trust him to stay healthy.
Well, it should have given us a good indication because he was supposed to fill in for the 4 games that when Brady was hurt.
Didn't make it.
And what did he do, Skip?
Yep.
Right on cue, he got hurt. So that should have given us an indication that, hold on. And then he goes to San Francisco, and right on cue, what did he do, Skip? He got hurt again.
Yep. Okay. So He's had moments of brilliance. I told you yesterday, there's Aaron Rodgers, then there's Mr. Rodgers.
Yeah.
Well, and then there's no Rodgers because he's out.
He's out.
Well, and Kyle's saying, well, we had 2 tough years because we just really can't count on him. Okay,
Right.
That's fine. So you're going to go forward, but you're also saying, hey, to your point, if somebody knocks us over, well, we're willing to give you Jimmy for something. If you knock our socks off. Well, nobody's going to knock their socks off because you've already discounted him enough because you're trying to replace him.
Right.
So he's going to be your discard at some point after maybe X games next year. Maybe after 10 games you say, okay, Mac Jones is ready to play or Justin Fields is ready to play in game 11.
But this is what we do know, Skip. There's a better than 90+% chance that this is Jimmy's last year. I don't know how he can play. Because Alex Smith played well, Skip. He took him to the divisional round. He took him to the divisional round of the playoff. They had a lead. What were they up? 21-3, 18-3 against Tennessee. They ended up losing that game, and they replaced it with Mahomes. I don't know what Jimmy G can do to keep this job for more than 1 year.
Oh, I don't either. And he's on his way out the door. They just need him as a stopgap.
Right.
And, again, I feel for him, but you say it's his fault anyway.
Yeah, he did this.
Okay, I got it.
Skip. He put Kyle and John Lynch in this situation. Had he stayed his butt healthy, they would not even be in position. Had he stopped turning the ball, Skip, he's a turnover machine.
He is. I agree.
So
I never liked him.
2 things that you cannot be as a quarterback, injury-prone and turnover-prone. And hell, he's both of them.
Okay.
Give me one.
So does that mean Bill Belichick was wrong about Jimmy Garoppolo?
Skip, no, he's shown flashes.
But he would have been proven wrong because Jimmy wouldn't have stayed any healthier in New England.
You don't think so?
No. Why? What's the difference?
But Jimmy took him to a Super Bowl. So he's right. He said, I told you the guy had Super Bowl potential.
Okay. So is that good enough? Would Belichick love to have him? Because he might be able to get him for nothing.
What's nothing? A third rounder?
Well, he might just get cut at some point. Yeah. You might get him for a 6th or 7th rounder.
I don't know, because I've seen enough of Nick Mullins and I've seen enough of C.J. Beathard. Obviously, they're good coming in off the bench, maybe a game, but Skip, they can't 4, 5, 6 games. We've seen enough of that. I just believe Jimmy gives them the best chance. If I got to start the season tomorrow, Jimmy gives me the best opportunity to go win those games.
So Kyle sums us up by saying we took a run at Matthew Stafford before he obviously went to the Rams, or we were in the Derby for him, and we have monitored Deshaun Watson's situation. So I think he's saying we're out on Deshaun. We just can't trust it or wait for it.
It's too up in the air.
Yep. Okay.
It's too up in the air.
So now what's up in the air is which quarterback is he going to take at 3? Because the truth is he can't know.
No.
And that is scary.
No. I think he's relegated and said, I'm either taking Mac Jones or I'm taking Trey Lance. Or Justin Fields.
Yep.
I think the Skip, but then again.
Unless the Jets throw a big curveball. They might.
And not go quarterback?
No, they'd go quarterback, but they might take the one you don't think. All this, it's a done deal with Zach Wilson. I'm not trusting.
If I'm the Jets, I trade that pick. I get me some first rounders.
And you trust Sam Darnold to go forward?
I build around Sam Darnold, Skip.
Would you really?
I would.
I would not. Don't love him, never did. Said before the draft, out.
I build around him.
Okay.
Give me some first-round picks. I mean, you got 2 this year, got 2 next year. I have 3. You could possibly have 3 next year and the 3 the year after that.
Well, if you're going to build around him, you should take Kyle Pitts then. That's what you should do. The best non-quarterback in the draft is Kyle Pitts. Nothing would speed his recovery faster than a Kyle Pitts.
No mercy. So the Patriots had a very busy start to free agency, as we know. In fact, it was the busiest offseason from New England in decades. Despite all their free agent signings on both sides of the ball, the Patriots landed at number 19 on the latest NFL post-free agency power rankings. So, Shannon, how wrong is this for the Patriots?
I believe it's very wrong. Because the question that I have, they went 7-9 last year. Do you believe their record will be better or worse than 7-9? Because if their record is better than 7-9, you're vastly underrated them. I believe they're a playoff team. Now, the teams that they got ranked in front of them, the Cowboys, do you believe the Cowboys, the Chargers, the Saints, the Vikings, and the Dolphins all will have a better record than the New England Patriots? Because I don't. I believe they got exponentially better, Skip. They addressed some needs that they needed. They covered some flaws. Coach Belichick made the mistake. And the great thing about it, Skip, when you win 6 Super Bowls, I don't even know, it's so long since I actually written with a pencil. But, Skip, you remember, we used to have pencils that had erasers on them. You make a mistake, what you do, Skip? Erase it out. A lot of people that made the mistakes that he's made without his cachet, they're fired. You don't draft 2 tight ends in the 3rd round, trade up to get 1, and then go and replace him in free agency and spend $50, $60, $70 million in doing so. You don't draft a receiver with your 1st round pick 2 years ago and then go get 2 receivers and pay $30, $40 million to replace him. You don't do that. So because he's so accomplished, he's able to make mistakes and take that eraser and scribble out and write in the correct answer, which he believes. I believe Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry are better tight ends than what they had. I believe the 2 receivers that they got, Kendrick Bourne and Nelson Aguilar, is better than the receivers that they have on their roster. So with that being said, I do believe, Skip, they should be, there's no way they should be behind the Cowboys, the Chargers, the Vikings. Really? I like the Dolphins. I love Brian Flores, and I love what he's done, and I believe Tua. But I believe they're going to be a playoff team. Damian Harris averaged 5 yards a game. 5 yards a carry. He missed 6 games last year. Skip, you know they're going to run the football. I believe Cam will be better. He's a year further removed from that surgery. The opt-ins came back with the exception of Chung, who retired. No, I believe they got this wrong, Skip. I believe they should be 13, 14, but 19? Nah.
Quick point of order. For 20 years, Bill Belichick had the ultimate eraser on his pencil named Tom Brady. All he had to do was he could swing and miss, and Tom would rise above, and just eliminate the mistakes with his quarterback play and his leadership. So that went on for 20 years until last year, and he took 2 tight ends in the 3rd round, swing and miss. So then he had to pay literally for those mistakes by overpaying in the free agent market, and Mr. Kraft had to write some big checks that he's never really had to write except for Stephon Gilmore and various people along the way, but not like this.
Boy, sure it's easy to spend somebody else's money in this, Skip.
Oh, this was a big cash splash. And especially at tight end. I was intrigued to read Mike Reese's little blurb here on ESPN about why they're better this year. And he boils it down to the tight end position, which they had 2 tight ends on the field last year, only 3% of the time, which was the lowest in the league. And they have dominated the league in 2 tight end formations over the previous 10 years.
Skip, you can't put 2 bad guys on the field at the same time. One of them's terrible.
You cannot do it.
Both of them jokers out there.
But Mike Reese also points out that since 2010, the Patriots have led the league in double tight end touchdowns. But that was Gronk and Aaron Hernandez, and I don't think Jonnu and Hunter Henry will quite equal Gronk and Aaron Hernandez. I just don't. I don't think so. I could be wrong.
First of all, you talk about a transcendent tight end is wrong. So you just hope you can get.
For that matter, so I know Aaron
Hernandez was going to be
his problems, but he was special.
Yeah. Skip, you just hope can between the 2 guys, can we get 10 touchdowns? Can we get 12 touchdowns?
Okay.
As opposed to the last 2 years getting no touchdowns?
Okay. The reason they are 19th to me is they got a little better everywhere except at the position in the sport of football, and that's quarterback. And I'm not saying they got any worse. They just ran back Cam. To your point, will he be a little healthier this year? Well, he took a lot of punishment last year, so just the cumulative impact on his body is not great because he still needs to run some.
Right. Oh, yeah. You can't take that totally away from him.
You cannot take it away from him. So, again, just for the record, Cam had 8 touchdown passes to 10 interceptions. Not great. His QBR ranked 30th of 33 qualified quarterbacks. Not great. So will he be much better? Will he transcend that this year? Will he have a 2015 season? If he does...
No, Skip, he don't need that. He needs 20 touchdowns. He needs 20 touchdowns. Can he get to the middle of the pack? But, Skip, if you think about it, Cam has never been a QBR darling.
No, he is not. That is true.
Except that one year that he won the MVP.
And even then, he was not a darling.
No,
He's not ever been the most accurate quarterback, so it docks him. When he's inaccurate, when he's 50% completions. Right. But in 2015, he was throwing touchdown passes.
Right, he had 35 touchdowns, and then he had another 10 running the football. So that was probably as high of a QBR season that he's had. But Skip, I believe can he throw 20 touchdowns? Can he throw 20 to 25 touchdowns and fewer than 12 interceptions.
Okay, but it's a leap from 8 to 25. It would be sensational. If he does, then you're right.
Yeah.
Okay, but look what this ranking has. Buffalo's all the way up at 4th. So they're saying Buffalo's a whole lot better than New England. And those Dolphins you just talked about are at 14th. So they're 5 slots better. So they're, significantly better. 5 slots better. Yeah. Okay, that's even with Tua, which is a little hard for me to buy. But
exactly.
The point is, well, it just
What about the Chargers?
I mean, that kid, he set the whole league on fire.
Oh, he's special. I did not see this coming.
I did not either. And they got him 2 stud offensive linemen, so he is going to get protected next year.
Right.
So, sure, yeah, I could see them living up to their billing.
Vikings.
I don't know about the Vikings.
Hold on. Your Cowboys.
Mm-hmm. Well, I told you, my Cowboys are better than New England.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are. They're one slot better.
I tell you,
it's just because Dak is better than Cam. Dak is a little better than Cam Newton.
Can we put some do on this? Who had a better record?
Who has a better record this coming year?
Yeah, Patriots or the Cowboys. Let's put some do on that.
It'll be close.
Hey, I don't know nothing close. I don't care nothing about no close.
Well, I'll do this. I'll put due on whichever team wins its division wins the bet.
No.
Why not?
No. Better record. Better record, because we done seen some 79s win some divisions. And a team go 10-6 and you over there key. No.
Okay, I will bet you that my Cowboys make the playoffs and the Patriots do not make the playoffs.
Better record.
I got it for 5 cases right now.
Skip.
I don't want records. I want playoffs.
I want record. Because they just said that 19 spots better. I mean, 19. Well, I think the Cowboys are 18.
Yeah.
And what you call 19. So I'm saying, they said you better. And you said you got the guy that matters the most, the quarterback position. Put that on.
Okay. I'll take Dallas in the playoffs, New England not, for 5 cases.
No.
Why not?
No, Skip. Skip.
Well,
why you trying to modify
your first statement out of your mouth was, this is a play. No, you said this is a playoff team.
Yes.
Put your due where your mouth is.
Skip, hold on. Skip, you in a trash division. Your division is trash. Miami missed the playoffs at 10-6. You guys won the division. The division winner last year was 7-9. No record.
The truth is, Buffalo's division isn't much above trash.
Skip, Buffalo's in that division.
That's what I'm saying. They own it.
Hold on. Miami was 10-6.
They won't be this time.
Hold on. You get 7-9, won your division. So Buffalo was 3 games. Miami was 3 games better than the best team in your division and missed the playoffs. Give me the record, Skip.
No.
No, what do you mean? Why not?
No, let's do playoffs, no playoffs. All that matters is the playoffs.
Skip, your guy, hold on. Your guy spent more money in one player than the Patriots did on their entire offense. Your guy got $75 million.
Okay, you might luck up and go 9-7, and we might win the division at 8-8, and that's what I'm betting on.
No.
I
know you do. No.
I want a playoff game. I want a home playoff game. You're going to have no playoff game.
I want to bet record. 17 games, Skip.
I'll just bet you straight up then that New England does not make the playoffs.
No, I want against the Cowboys. That's your team.
Okay, I got it for the playoffs.
No.
Yep.
Nope. That trash division? No.
Well, I think you just admitted we're the best team in the division.
Skip, that ain't saying nothing.
Well, it's saying a lot. I think you didn't say that in the A block of our show today. You're saying Washington was better. You're saying the Giants are better.
Skip, all I'm saying is you're in a trash division. You do have the best quarterback.
I buy that. I agree.
You do have the best quarterback in that division. But that's not saying a whole lot, considering what he's up against.
Okay. Well, we got the second best quarterback if you combine the NFC and AFC East together. We got the second best to Josh Allen.
Okay. I'm glad you finally come to your senses.
No, I just say Dak's got to prove a little more to me next year. He's got to live up to $164 million, and I think he will.
Well, how about you this? Prove up to them cases of do that you got from me. Bet 5 of them that the Patriots have a better record than you.
No, I don't want to do record. I just told you they might luck up and go 9-7, but they're going nowhere slowly.
And you guys might luck up and go 6-11 and win the division.
Yeah, we might.
We got
17 games.
Yeah, you got an extra game now.
Yep. Okay.
Y'all go 8-1. We go 9-7 and I lose.
I would like 8-1 because that would win that division.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'll take it. Thank you.
I know you would. No.
Yeah.
No.
No mercy.
The UConn women's basketball team advanced to the Final Four for the 13th consecutive time last night, but it came with some controversy against Baylor. Down 1 with 5 seconds left, Baylor's Dejanay Carrington drove left and missed a heavily contested shot that Baylor believed should have been a foul. And after the game, Coach Kim Mulkey said, quote, "I've got still shots and video from 2 angles. One kid hits her in the face and one kid hits her on the elbow." Shannon, how bad of a no call was this?
It was a terrible call. I mean, in the first quarter, that'd have been a foul. In the second quarter, that'd have been a foul. Third quarter, that'd have been a foul. And I don't know why in the final seconds of a ball game it wasn't called a foul. It's simple as that, Skip. They missed the call. I mean, ain't no sense in, we can say, oh, yeah, it was the most egregious call ever. The fact of the matter was it was a missed call. The young lady got fouled. Dejanay Carrington should have gone to the free throw line with an attempt to make those free throws. And she had gone 4 for 4, Skip. She had made 2 with 53 seconds and another 2 with 19 seconds. So we've seen that happen before. But you got to make that call, Skip. I don't know what the official saw. Skip, he's standing right there. One's behind her. I think what happened is the one behind her might not see it, but the other guy is out of position because he should have slid to the baseline. But that's a foul, Skip. That's a foul all day. And, look, I like UConn women. I like Coach Oriema. He does a great job. The program is outstanding. But, Skip, that was a foul. And I'm not just saying that UConn wouldn't have got an opportunity to go back down the court and all that other stuff, Skip. But that was a foul on that play. That should have been called, and the young lady should have been allowed to go to the free throw line and attempt 2 free throws. Okay. It's as simple as that.
Okay? I don't see it as simple as that. By the letter of the law, I will give you it should have been called, but I don't think it was an easy call for the refs because the harder I look at it, the 2 UConn women, it's Aaliyah Edwards, she's 6 feet 3 inches tall, and Olivia Nelson-Odota is 6 feet 5 inches tall.
Right.
And remember, Carrington is a backup only playing because Baylor's point guard had pulled her hamstring late in the third quarter. So Carrington doesn't play all that much. But and all of a sudden, she's left with the ball in her hands like, uh-oh, I got to make a play.
Right.
So she drives it left. Maybe she was sort of impaired going to her left because it looked like there could have been a foul called just on stopping her momentum a little bit. But once she went up to shoot, here's the problem with the call. I don't see any contact with her hand or arm. I don't see it.
Well,
now, again, one arm gets through and grazes the side of her face, and that's where you could have called the foul. But I don't see contact.
Somebody photoshopped that one in, Skip.
Well, again, she shot it clean. I don't think they made contact there. I don't see
Skip,
it.
You can see the other girl body to body with her.
Yeah, except she's falling backwards. They didn't go straight up.
You're right.
Okay? But there's so much tall. She's 5'11", and they're 6'3" and 6'5".
And she elevates. It's not like she's shooting a set shot. She elevates. She elevates to try to get it because she knows she's going to have to, as you mentioned, 6'3", 6'5". She's going to have to elevate to get it over.
Okay, so again, that looks worse than it is because she's falling backward, and I don't think that impeded her ability to shoot the basketball. She couldn't get it off because she was just completely suffocated by long arms.
That's a foul.
Well, again, face. That was the contact was with the face. The follow through to the face. I will give you that, but it's hard to make that call.
No, it ain't.
To decide. Big game.
Let me ask you a question. If that happened in the first quarter, would that have been called a foul? Yes.
Yeah, okay.
They're going to call that. Skip, you can't let the moment change how you officiate a game.
Okay,
you can't
this wasn't the classic hack across the arm where you say, well, that's just a slap foul, where you just slap skin.
Skip, I see him make this call all the time. I just saw Dame Lillard win a game. I just saw Dame Lillard go to the line, make 3 free throws because the guy fouled him on a 3-point shot.
Okay, but that's a hack across the hand. And
he hit on the elbow. The lady hit on. You can see, Skip.
That is not how it's. If you watch it in even slow motion, you'll see there's no. It's not impeding the shot. It's not stopping the elbow or hitting the hand.
You can touch no part. The hand is a part of the ball. She doesn't hit hand. She hit elbow.
And I do not think they body fouled her at all. I think they're going straight up enough. She's falling away because she has to.
Skip, that's a foul.
No, I don't think it's a foul. I don't think they hit her hand. Again, they hit her face. One of the
well, that's a foul.
Okay, it just
Skip, that's a foul.
Her face. Okay, I got it. I told you by letter of the law.
Yes,
it's called. But I'm not shocked that they looked and like no. because the game is going to be decided by that.
Well, okay. Well, they decided. Well, UConn decided that. UConn decided to foul the lady.
Okay.
The officials don't decide. It's like, okay, you fouled in this situation. No, they made a conscious. They fouled her. You got to make that call, Skip. I'm not a firm believer that you swallow your whistle. That the time of the game should dictate whether or not it's a foul call. If that is a foul in the first quarter, it should be a foul in the final 2-3 seconds of a ball game.
Okay. I also think the referees know who the stars are and who they're not, and they knew that Carrington is not a star for Baylor, and she didn't get star treatment on that because stars just get, if you blow on them, you're going to get a foul call.
Well, definitely Beckers would have got that call.
Would have gotten the call, agreed.
But I just believe that they blew it. They blew that call. They should have gotten a foul. That was a terrible call, Skip.
Well, you think it because LeBron thinks it, and he immediately
No,
tweeted it.
Skip, I'm watching it. That's a foul. I'm like, oh, foul. That's a foul.
You were watching that game?
Yeah. I like UConn.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, look, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I'll be watching all the women's games. I'll watch UConn. I'll watch Tennessee. I'll watch, because I love Coach Summer, rest of, so I met her one time, and I'm hooked with her, and I watch South Carolina. The Gamecock. Now, their own, yes, I will watch women's college basketball if those three teams are playing.
All I know is I watched all of Saturday's game because I wanted to see Caitlin against her.
Right.
And see what happened, and it didn't ever launch. No. It never got off.
I don't know, Coach. Coach, I don't know how he get them. But he just keep getting all the best players, Skip.
Yep.
Every year he get them.
And then I got to make one quick comment about Kim Mulkey. She's obviously been there forever, and she is a great college basketball coach. But I think a little bit out of spite and out of anger, she said, oh, they should dump the COVID test for the Final Four. And I'm like, what?
Skip, she had COVID.
She had COVID. You can't do that. What are you talking about? She said it would be a shame if one of the girls tested positive and couldn't play. What?
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be a shame if she...
It's a shame.
Infected somebody else.
Yes, Skip, it's a shame. We lost 550,000 people to COVID. That's a shame. Come on, Kim.
I think that was sore loser comment. Yeah. I hope it was.
I know, Skip. She's upset. I mean, you come this far.
She was very upset.
You're in this situation, and but UConn 13 straight Final Fours. 13 straight.
That is something.
It's so cool to me.
You're never going to see this again, Skip.
No, it's unbelievable. You hate to see it end that way for sure, though. That's the hardest part about all this. But we've had moments like that throughout the tournament, and maybe that's why we watch the tournament like this, because of those moments. No mercy. Saturday, MLB is back as the Braves face Bryce Harper and the Phillies. Then the reigning champ Dodgers take on the Rockies. Coverage begins at 3 p.m. Eastern on FS1 and the Fox Sports app. Rob Pelinka talked yesterday about the latest signing of Andre Drummond. The Lakers GM said Drummond, quote, gives us powerful anchor point skills on both ends of the court. He continued to heap praise on the big man, saying LA was fortunate to have someone of his caliber join their team in an effort to defend the title. So, Shannon, do you like how Pelinka described Drummond's role here?
I do, because that's what he'll, Skip. He'll be asked to rebound the basketball, and he can do that. The guy averages 14 rebounds for a career, and I think he's been in the league. He and AD came in together. If I'm not mistaken, Skip, AD was first. I think he was fifth. So since he's averaged 14 rebounds a game for a career. That's pretty good. He's averaged about 15 points. 15 and 14 is pretty good. Now, I don't know if on a nightly basis, because he's not going to play the minutes that he started out playing early in his career, Skip. 32, 33, 34 minutes. He'll probably be somewhere 26 to 28, give or take. The minutes restriction, but he can rebound. He's a better rebounder than the two guys that we lost in free agency, JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard. He's a better offensive threat than those two guys are that we lost in free agency. Now, is he the shot blocker? No, but he can protect the rim. He is a big body. He's more athletic than Marc Gasol. He's a bigger body. More I don't know if he's as active, but he's a better rebounder, a better offensive player than Trez Harrell. So I like this, and Rob is actually absolutely right. He will be the anchor. He'll get a lot of lob from LeBron. AD can go back to his natural position, which is the 4, which he likes to play. Drummond loves to bang. Big body, 6'10", 280. Yeah, anchor. Set it down. I don't know if you ever seen an anchor on a big cruise ship, but boy, when that thing, Skip, when they drop, that change just be coming. This chunk is coming.
Really?
And that anchor weigh about 5-6 tons because they got to hold that ship there because it ain't going nowhere.
Really?
So he going to hold the Lakers there because we not going nowhere.
You know, let me say that the only anchor I'm aware of is #anchor down, which is the Vanderbilt Commodore slogan. And you want to talk about anchors? How about Jack Leiter and Kumar Rocker? That's some big anchors.
Yeah,
baby.
Jack Leiter been doing it. Last 2 games, he's been electric.
They've been doing it. These are no-hitters waiting to happen every Friday and Saturday for my Vanderbilt Commodore baseball team. Okay, back to this anchor. Again, what exactly has Andre Drummond proven that he's going to change the life of the Los Angeles Lakers? Because that's how you're presenting it to me, like life just changed.
Rebounding.
Okay. He has led the league in rebounding 4 times.
4 times.
I give you that.
Yes.
Has he played for what you would call a winning team or winning organization?
No.
He has not.
No.
So he has no idea what this feels like. He has no idea how hot and bright the spotlight can get when you play, when you start alongside of LeBron James, because now you will focus on Andre Drummond and you will say, it's time to beat that drum. And it's time for him to rise and shine and play even higher level basketball.
No, I don't need him to play high level. I don't need him to play high level. I just need him to give me what he's given since he's been in the NBA. Just give me that. That's all I need. I don't need 25 and 15. I just need, can he give me 10 and 10?
Yep.
Can he give me 15 occasionally? Absolutely. That's all we need. You try to, hold on. What has LaMarcus Aldridge done? What has he done? What championship team? What team has he led them to? Remember Blake Griffin? They had a 3-1 lead on the Houston Rockets, and they lost. And in the last game, James Harden was on the bench, and they came back with Josh Smith and a bunch of other guys.
Has Sean Marks called LaMarcus Aldridge or Blake Griffin the new anchor of the Brooklyn Nets?
No, he's not.
No.
Which one, Skip? He goes into a starting lineup. All they're asking him to do when they say anchor, Skip, they have no rim protection. They lost that when they lost JaVale and they lost Dwight. Do you believe he's better at what he does than Marc Gasol? It's a simple yes or no.
I first guessed this because I told you were ranting and raving about Marc Gasol before the year started. I said, wrong. He's washed up.
Yeah, he is.
He is glacial. That's what I said. He moves like glacier speed, and he is ground bound.
But I tell you who is not ground bound, Andre Drummond.
I think he is kind of ground bound, but he's so wide body that he just knocks people out of the way. That's fine.
He can catch lobs.
Yep.
Marc Gasol can't catch no lobs.
No, he can't do anything. He can still pass it.
Skip, what the passing that he may give us doesn't make up for the lack of scoring and the lack of defense that he's given us. So it's not like he's scoring 15 a night. If he's scoring 15 a night, I can offset some of the offense. I can offset some of the defensive rebounding. But he's not giving us that. Do you believe Andre Drummond can still give us on a nightly basis somewhere between 12 and 13, 14 rebounds? Do you believe that? Yes or no?
10-ish.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Okay, that's all we need.
I'll give you double-digit rebounds.
Okay.
But you are using the word anchor, or Rob Pelinka is using anchor as a synonym for savior to me.
No,
It's your synonym for savior because we got Dre. That's what you're saying.
We got him.
Yeah.
And y'all wanted him. Everybody else got him.
You told me he was the final piece to a repeat championship puzzle. Am I right?
Yep.
Okay. You said that. You're on record. That means he is the savior of the
No, I didn't say no savior. Ain't no savior. Ooh. The saviors are injured. Those are the saviors.
No, okay.
But I tell you what, once they get back healthy, watch how you come into work. Be sweating.
Really?
Like a Pentecostal minister running revival in a tent. You're going to be sweating like that, especially when we get hold of your Clippers. We got something for y'all go a little dance around. Y'all all happy. We won 6 straight. We beat Giannis without 3-4 starters. Everybody can key. But your day coming. You're going to have to deal with us.
There's no Ibaka. There's no Pat.
You got to deal with
I don't know what's happened to Rondo. He must be in protocol right now. Just wait. Just wait.
Skip. The Bible teaches us the only way you can enter the pearly gates, you got to come through me.
We already dealt with you. It seems like forever ago, but it was this basketball season we dealt with you, and Pandemic P made you look like you were in the pandemic when he started raining threes on you.
We let y'all hang that banner. Almost. Almost world champs.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all the opening night champs. Y'all the Christmas Day champs. almost NBA champs. Well, when you hang up banners that says champions, like we've hung
they
17.
have been gunning for you all year.
Why y'all bother to worry about us?
They are very different.
What we worry about us?
This is the deepest team in pro basketball, are the Clippers.
You notice? We don't
see
even
what Luke Kennard does? He comes off the bench and just rains threes.
Skip, you notice we never mention y'all.
Yeah.
Because you're afterthought.
That's true. I appreciate you even bringing it up because nobody wants to hear about the Clippers until they eliminate the Lakers. And that's what's going to happen.
Dre gonna have a field day on Sergio Blocker. Gonna have a field day on Zubats.
Is he? Big Zoo is playing big, and he could have been a Laker.
That's all right.
Yeah.
As much as I love Zoo, I don't love as much as I love Dre. Still Dre Day.
Is it?
Yeah, it's Dre Day.
So somebody's minutes are going to have to shrink at the expense of Andre Drummond's minutes going up.
Yes.
And I'm looking at this, and Gasol's obviously out of the I assume he's pretty much out of the rotation. But there's this guy who used to be a Clipper, and his name is Montrezl Harrell. And trust me, when he doesn't get his minutes, he can be a problem. He can be a locker room wave maker.
No. See, that's when you don't have the leadership that they had in the Clippers locker room. Skip.
Really?
But now, Skip, you know, oh, this man feels so good. I feel so good, Skip. I feel good.
So would you believe that Trez's minutes are already down to 25? He was 28 minutes a game for the Clippers last year, and all he was, believe it or not, the sixth man of the year.
Well, he's not going to win sixth man this year, but he's going to win a championship. You would have a six-man trophy or NBA ring.
He's got a big ego, does Trez, and he deserves it because he earned it last year. So all of a sudden, he's going to see his 25 minutes shrink down to 20-ish, maybe 18, 19.
The thing of a championship team, there were some series Dwight did not even play. There were some series JaVale didn't play. There were some series that Marcus Morris, Keith Morris didn't play. But you got to be ready. You got to be ready. When your number's called, you can't make, man, I ain't loose. Get on the bike, stay warm. But whatever it is, when we call your name, just answer.
What do you think Trez is feeling about all these proclamations that the new anchor of the team is Andre Drummond? How do you think Trez feels about the perception that Andre Drummond is now the savior of the Lakers? And I'm sure Trez is sitting back saying, I'm chopped liver. What about me?
Skip. They do different things. Trez is the energy guy off the bench. There probably won't be a lot of times that these two guys play together, but Trez is that jolt off the bench. Trez doesn't do what Drummond does. Drummond can rebound the ball like nobody in the NBA currently can rebound the ball like him. Not Vucevic, not Jokic. Nobody in the current NBA can rebound the ball like this young man
Except maybe James Harden. Seriously, every time I look up, he's got 10 or 12
Skip, you know
rebounds.
this man, Skip, you realize this man had a 30-20 game this year? This man has gotten, nobody's had since he's been in the league more 20-20 games. 425 double-doubles since he's entered the league. Nobody can see that. So nobody currently in the league can do his job better than what he can, which is rebound the ball.
8 playoff games, 36% free throw shooting, 20 of 55.
Let me ask you.
You should rename him Hack a Drummond because that's what he will become.
Was he ever the number one seed?
Play him down the stretch.
Was he ever the number one seed? He was the 8th seed. So you expected him to upset somebody. All I know is I'm gonna be singing this song. We could have lived this dance forever.
Yep. So who's going to close games for you at the 5?
Why are you worried about AD?
AD's going to play the 5 down the stretch?
He did it all last year, remember?
I thought he didn't like that.
No. See, there you go. See what you're trying to do.
Okay.
AD doesn't like playing the 5 the majority of the game, but the closing, the last 5 minutes, but you also know who else can play the 5 too, or Goat James, because we've seen him do it. We've seen Goat James guard Tony Parker for the better part of 3.5 quarters, and when they need to, slide to Tim Duncan and say, you'll get nothing and you'll like it.
That was back when LeBron was 23 years old.
You know who number one in defensive win share right now?
I think he slips.
Don't do that, Skip! Don't do that, Skip!
So old 3/4 Dre is your new savior. He's your new anchor.
Hello.
3/4 Dre, because you can't play him in the fourth quarter.
Let me ask you a question. Who's a better player right now? LaMarcus Aldridge, Blake Griffin, or Andre Drummond? The better player right now, as Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp sit here today, who's the better player?
LaMarcus Aldridge. Not close. He can still score the basketball. He can shoot deadly mid-range jump shots.
And he powdered his way out of San Antonio till he got balled out. Powdered his way out.
So Andre Drummond is 6 feet 10 inches tall. LaMarcus Aldridge is 6 feet 11 inches tall, and I told you yesterday, better rim protector than Andre will be.
Skip, you talk about like an inch is like 7, like Andre Drummond is 6'6".
Who's longer? Who has the bigger wingspan between LaMarcus and Andre Drummond?
Skip, okay. LaMarcus Aldridge used to rim protect. Dre gonna have his day with him. Too small. He ain't got enough bricks in his back pocket. You see how Dre running the people and moving them out the way?
Can Dre rim protect them?
Yes.
No.
Yes. It's still Dre Day. And if you're from Cali, you know what Dre Day is. We got it. You mad now. You big man. You gonna be big man in July.
I got Rondo. What do I care about Andre Drummond? I got Rondo. I got a new quarterback, a new leader in the locker room. I got a new table setter.
Hold on. You got guys that's won NBA chair. You got a guy that's a 2-time MVP. I mean, 2-time Finals MVP, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year. And you got to go somebody from the outside to bring in to be the leader?
Yeah. Need a point guard.
What?
Who leads the team in assists right now? Kawhi Leonard. That's wrong.
Hey, I ain't saying nothing about no point guard.
Yeah.
I said you said a leader. You said a leader before you mentioned point guard.
I did. We got him.
So what is Paul
you know
doing?
what? You don't got him.
We good.
Because your unsung MVP down in the bubble was Rajon Rondo.
Hey, look here. Skip, don't nobody care. Look, did you realize that Harold Melvin in the Blue Note, even though his name was on the headliner,
I've heard this before.
he couldn't sing. Harold Melvin did no singing. You don't remember? You remember Dinah Shore? I know you used to watch it all the time.
She went to Vanderbilt.
No, she did. You didn't make it up. You make it up. No, you did.
She did. Dinah Shore went to Vanderbilt.
No, you did. No, you did.
I'm just telling you, she did.
No, you did. No, you did.
I got you again. Thank you for bringing up Dinah Shore.
Go to Vanderbilt. No,
She did.
no.
I'm sorry.
So many
She's a Southern lady.
Vanderbilt alums.
She's
Just
national.
so many. The list goes on.
Look at Dre Day.
The list goes
Did you hear how happy he was? Did you hear his voice? Did you hear the exuberance?
No mercy. Former Browns head coach Hue Jackson claims the Cleveland executives lied to him during his time with the team. During a radio interview, Jackson said, quote, "There is no doubt I was lied to by ownership and the executive team. They were going to be football plus analytics, but they intentionally made it football versus analytics." Jackson continues saying, "The truth needs to come out." So, Shannon, good idea or bad idea for Hue Jackson to speak out about this?
Skip, let it go. Skip this over. It's a bad idea. It's a horrible idea. I don't understand what this accomplishes. I hope Hue gets another opportunity to be a coordinator. If he wants to be a coach, let that. But Skip, let this go. You lied to the Cleveland Browns. You said you were going to be better than 336-1 in 40 games. So I guess y'all lied to each other. You were a match made in heaven. Y'all deserved each other. Skip, what does this do for Hue now? Nobody's going to feel sorry for you. Hue, you got an opportunity to coach. It didn't work out. They're on their third coach since you. It's okay. You're not the first. You won't be the second. You won't be the last coach that's gotten the job and it failed at it. It's okay. But Skip, what does this do now? What is bringing up they lied to you? How? I guarantee you, had you won more games, you'd have kept your job. Skip, I don't know how you justify 336-1. How do you justify that? You can't. You go, okay, maybe if you're 12 and something, 23-1. Yep. You're like, okay, well, we showing promise.
Yep.
Skip, what was the promise? Nobody. No, Hue let this go. I like Hue. Hue, let this go, man.
I definitely agree with your conclusion. I also like Hue Jackson. I also think he's a very good offensive football coach.
Yes.
And you couldn't see that when he was the head coach because it got lost.
Yes.
I believe he's a better coordinator than a head coach.
And that's okay.
It's okay. And it happens to a whole bunch of people because they're very, very different jobs and they take very different expertise.
Correct.
To be the head coach, you have to have this sort of generalship about you where you can command the whole room. Mm-hmm. Hue likes to focus on offensive football, and I think he's he's like a football intellect when it comes to designing offenses. And I knew him way back when he was USC's offensive coordinator, and I thought he was great at Cincinnati. He was very good at Oakland, and he couldn't do what he does best when he became the head coach of the Browns. So my problem is, I don't even know what he's talking. He's talking in circles about, he says that when he took over, they lied to me because he said they were going to be football plus analytics. And they intentionally made it football versus analytics. And his point is they were going to take 2 years, his first 2 years as head coach, and they were going to find a way to use us as an experiment to make sure they got all the data they needed to get better. So he's saying they intentionally sabotaged his first 2 years to be awful so that they could learn from being awful to get better. That's insane. And I don't believe that happened. And it feels like such a reach or a stretch for him to go on Cleveland radio and try to make his case, because he just looks foolish, and it looks like this is, you can rise above this. You don't need to go back. Nobody cares about what happened in those first
Skip,
years.
he says, I think I became the fall guy because of that was the narrative. The truth needs to come out for other minority coaches. They need to know the pitfalls out there. My story has affected some of their futures. Skip, we understand this. For the most part, black coaches get a head job. You go into crappy teams. You get in the Cincinnati's. You get in the Cleveland's. You get in the New York Jets. You get in the Arizona Cardinals. So you get in the Steve Wilkes that gets 1 year at Arizona. They terrible. He's up out of there. They get Kyler Murray. That's what happens.
No, he's in Cleveland.
Right? Skip, you're not probably getting the Cowboys or New England Patriots. Mike Tomlin is the one-off.
That would be the
one-off. He got Pittsburgh. But you see what happened with Tony Dungy? What did he get? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who had a worse win percentage when Tony took over than what they got right now. That's true. What you normally get. I agree. And you have to accept it. It's not like, nah, I'm going to wait. You know, sometimes, Skip, you're like, a black coach could never do what Josh McDaniels did. Get a job, accept the job, and then call Motivate before they ask the press conference, I'm going to stay where I'm at. He would never, ever. A black coach can never do it.
By the way, he may regret that at this moment. Go ahead.
Skip, you remember Doug Marrone? Doug Marrone had the job in Buffalo. He resigned the job and went and got another job in Jacksonville. A black guy can never do. Hell, they can't even get an interview. Eric Bieniemy can barely get into the room.
How about Belichick? He was going to be the head coach of the Jets.
And resigned it. He resigned the next day and got the job at New England. And then New England had to give up compensation to get him.
Okay.
So Skip, we understand, Hugh, we understand that when blacks get a job, it's normally, the teams aren't very good, and you're expected to work miracles, and you're not going to be given the chance like some of the counterparts. We get that. But dealing with your situation, I just don't know how I can defend 3-36. I just can't.
Yep, I agree. So he concludes that the drafts were so bad when he was there, and some of the people responsible for those drafts are still afloat in the organization, Paul DePodesta and Andrew Berry. They contributed to the miserable drafts that did in Hue as the head coach.
Right.
And he said, how did they survive and I didn't survive? Well, that's just what happens to the head coach. It's the easiest fix. It's just to say, it's his fault. You're gone.
Right. I can't find the 53. No. I can't find all 53 guys. And I'm sure some of the players that were there with you, Hugh, are no longer there. Yep. But you did, hold on. Wasn't Hugh there when they got Myles Garrett? Wasn't he there when they got the quarterback, Baker Mayfield? Yeah. So it wasn't, so I'm just...
And remember, where Hugh really lost me was during the Hard Knocks in Baker's rookie camp. And I don't know if he's playing for the cameras, but he was obviously at odds with some of his assistant coaches and his defensive coordinator. And then all of a sudden he calls in Baker on camera, on cue, and says, I want to inform you, you have won the backup job. Over Drew Stanton? You've won the backup job? And I don't think Baker ever got over that because remember, he was... Remember when Hugh got fired and went back to Cincinnati, Baker's giving him the business on the field.
What did Hugh in more than the front office was the people that he hired. Yep. Todd Haley wanted to be a head coach. He wanted your job. Yep. Greg Williams wanted to be a head coach. He wanted your job. That's the mistake that you made.
Those are mistakes.
It wasn't, okay, maybe you want to say the front office and the analytics, all that. When you have people directly, I believe, trying to undermine what the hell you're doing.
Well, you could see it on Hard Knocks that they were out for blood, man.
Baker, where do you think Baker got that dislike for Hugh? Okay, Skip, I get it that he made him name Baker the starter over Drew Stanton, which was the backup.
The backup.
But there was some animosity, some things that's probably said in coaches' meetings. Yep. That you know what gets said in coaches' meetings. Agreed. That got back to Baker Mayfield. Yep. This is what he said. This is what he thought about you. That's why Baker had the animosity towards Hue Jackson when he went to Cincinnati.
Yep.
So that was Hue's fault. You have to understand, when you hire someone, everybody knows their role. This is your role.
Yep.
So I just can't. I like Hue. I know Hue, but I can't defend 3-36 saying, nah, bro, you should have probably got another year or two. I just can't.
Look, he's only 55 years of age. He deserves some other job in the National Football League. And again,
well, it don't help.
Yeah, this is damaging.
Yeah. Why behind you gonna come in and talk crap about my team and talk about when you get fired? People get fired all the time.
And he says he's writing a book, which could also.
Oh, geez. So I knew it was something. So that's what it's about, writing the book.
Yep.
Skip, you don't have to tell everything. Everything is not meant to be publicly consumed.
Yep.
It's okay to take some things to your grave. Damn.
It's too soon to be writing a book. Maybe someday when it's all gone and it's completely
when
out
you're
of
75.
Yep, I agree.
Write a book. You 75, write a book.
Okay, I got it.
It's hard to imagine he would be back into coaching after having these strong opinions and being so vocal about it. That's the part. If he wants to be done with coaching, writing a book, okay, makes sense.
Right.
But it might be hard to come back from that. So he's still a little bit bitter about how it ended there. No mercy. Well, tonight, it's the final of the CONCACAF Men's Olympic qualifying tournament as Honduras takes on Mexico at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, only on FS1, Fox Sports app. So get this, guys. Cam Newton is hosting a new sit-down interview series on BET Digital called Sip and Smoke. The premieres tomorrow. The show will, quote, underscore Atlanta's recognition as the new culture capital of America and centers around all things Black culture. So, Shannon, do you like the concept of Cam's new show?
I like it. I mean, I don't know. I was trying to look and see if it's taking place at his spot. He has a nice little spot in Atlanta called Fellowship, Skip. I've been there a couple of times, had dinner with his dad, Cecil, who went to Savannah State, so I know him really well.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So
he tried out for the Cowboys.
He tried out for the Cowboys, almost made it.
Yep.
So I know Cecil, and I went there. The lamb chops are off the chain. I like it because I think it's going to open up a different side of Cam Newton, where as opposed to him being interviewed, he's going to interview. And it seems like a lot of the people are Atlanta-based. Steve Harvey, 2 Chainz, I saw the Brat. I think it says David Banner's also going to be on there, Tiana Taylor. So I like it. Atlanta is, what was the stat? I think in the last 2 years, nobody's done more box office movie production than Atlanta, the state of Georgia. So it's up and coming, and so there's some big names there. So I like it. It's going to let Cam show you a different side of himself. So I like it. I like this aspect.
Okay.
Hey, you stole my idea because, Club Shay Shay been popping for the last year.
Really?
Yeah. Actually, I'm looking to expand, get me a little bigger building, might bring it over to the lot here.
Well, allow me to say, the one man I know in sports who has bigger charisma than Shannon Sharp is Cam Newton. And I believe he has found his calling here because he has a huge personality, and this will allow him to show it. As you say, role reversal where he is interviewing. And I think he will take over this stage, and this will be this will launch him at some point into his second career.
Right.
Okay, now I'm going to go full on fuddy-duddy, stick in the mud, health nut. I don't get the title. I don't know why you have to underline the sip and the smoke.
Yeah.
Because it still jars me. Again, I do care about what I put in my body, but it jars me to see our superstars smoke cigars. And this is going to be the theme of the show. And I get it that they do smoke cigars, but this is going to be a constant theme in every episode. They're going to sip, fine, and they're going to smoke. Okay. So it always amuses me that we look at the early days of the NFL, mostly white guys, and they're smoking cigarettes in the locker room. They're on the sideline, and everybody's saying, look at them, they're smoking cigarettes. And I'm saying, well, look at our guys now. And it started with my guy when I was in Chicago, Michael Jeffrey Jordan. He was the one who started.
He made it cool, Skip.
He made it the coolest.
Made it cool.
And Ahmad Rashad used to talk about it would be like a 2-cigar drive because they had gone that Eden's Expressway and it took forever to get downtown to the United Center.
Right.
And Michael would smoke cigars on the way to NBA Finals games, right?
Right.
And he did make it cool. And obviously LeBron will smoke occasional cigar, and now Cam. And it I'm like, what has happened here? It's too cool.
Skip, most of the time, guys were smoking cigars as part of a victory. It's a celebration. And then for somehow Jordan got it like either smoking it, not guys on the golf course. That's all you see.
That's all you see.
My brother is, smokes cigars, so that's what I get it. Yeah.
Okay.
But so I get it, Skip, and Steve sent me a note saying it's going to be in his fellowship.
Is it?
Yeah, private select, cigars and cocktails. So let your boy come on through there and get some of them lamb chops, Cam. I ain't got nothing to talk about, but I just want to eat.
Best you've ever had?
They good. Now we had a place. We had somebody do this for the Broncos. I forget. I don't know who did it. Epicurean, I think, was the company.
Yep.
Skip, they did lamb chops. I ain't gonna lie. I had like 50 of them.
You did?
I had like 50 of them. I ain't gonna lie.
While you were playing?
While I was playing, yeah.
Okay.
I had about 50 of them. Me and my boy Burns, we talk about it to this day.
Okay.
And all we saw was a pan and nothing but bones in there. Like,
okay.
Dog ain't gonna want them.
I would recommend you not do that now.
What? Lamb chops?
Not that many, not 50 of them.
Skip, that was good.
Right.
Skip, I said lamb chops, not tomahawks.
Yeah.
You know lamb chops ain't them little old lollipop lamb chops.
I got it.
I mean, I might can take down 2 tomahawks, too.
Okay.
Maybe.
So here's the bigger question. Will Bill Belichick be okay with Cam dedicating some of his offseason to making these? I think it's 8 episodes.
It's probably already done. He probably already got them in the can because it's going to start airing on BET.
Yep.
So he probably already got it.
Digital, I believe.
Yeah, but
right?
Skip, I think he already got those in the can.
Yeah.
I think he already got them in the can. But like I said, Skip, look, Cam going to get his work in. For me, you get your work in. So whatever that is, that's running, that's lifting, that's stretching, that's throwing, that's your masseuse, whoever, you get all your work in, Skip. There's 24 hours in the day. And maybe these young guys, I can't sleep about 5 hours. So I got another.
That's all we get to sleep.
True.
Yeah.
So you got about that. If you're an athlete, Skip, you sleep 12. Let's just say you sleep 12 hours, and you work out 6 hours. You still got 6 hours in the day to do other things.
Okay.
So. So I don't really have a problem. I don't have a problem.
So as a man who does take care of his body, I ask you the question, do you think there's any truth to too many cigars can hurt your wind?
Skip, look, I know guys, Skip, that smoke and drink before practice, after practice, and be the first one. I played with a guy named Simon Fletcher, and he smoked a pack a day, and you couldn't beat that joker in wind sprints to save your life.
Cigarettes. Really?
Yeah, man, that joker smoked. Hey, we see him, we get the break, lunch break, Fletcher walking to his truck. Know he going to smoke him cigarettes, gonna probably smoke 2 or 3, and run all day in practice. I don't know how he did it. But for me, Skip, I might have a little few little brewski here and there. Skip, you don't like the move. Like when I win, like when the Lakers win this title, I might come out here sloppy.
Really?
I might come out here,
Huh.
Yep.
Just full on lit?
I might come in here like Otis and Andy Griffith, put myself in jail. Yeah, lock myself up.
Really?
Yep.
That was Otis.
Otis, yeah. Yeah, you remember Otis?
No, I do remember Otis. He slept in the jail every night. So you just go put yourself in.
Yeah. They gave him a key and everything because they already know how Otis was going to be.
I just wrote that down. I might come out here sloppy.
Yeah.
What another title. I'm going to remember that. Not too sloppy, Shannon. This is an early show. It will be fun to see another side of Cam. I am looking forward to that angle.
No mercy.
Guys, Russell Westbrook not only carried the Wizards to a 132-124 win over the Pacers last night, the guard also made history along the way. Westbrook had 35 points, 21 assists, and 14 rebounds, making him the first player to ever have a 35-point, 20-assist triple-double in league history. Shannon, how impressive was this?
Well, it's very impressive, Skip. And now he broke the tie with Oscar Robertson and Magic Johnson for the most 2020 ball game. Skip, but I'm not surprised because this is what Russ did in OKC. Bradley Beal's out with a hip contusion. So now what does Russ do? Russ say, I will take the game over. I will get everybody involved. And then fourth quarter when I need to, I'll do what I do. So I'm not surprised by this, Skip. The one thing that I could always say about Russ, he ain't gonna cheat. I know exactly what the hell I'm going to get from him. I'm going to get all out effort. Now, it might be a little out of control sometime. He might turn the ball over and do something crazy. But I know he going to give me everything he got, and that's the highest compliment I can pay a guy.
And at least last night, to your point, he took the game over late, and they actually won the game without Bradley Beal against the Pacers at home.
Right.
The problem is, as I predicted and you echoed, obviously, That team is now 17-28. So as great as Russell is, it's still a solo act greatness,
Right.
and it doesn't contribute often enough to winning to vaulting you into the playoffs.
Right.
And again, you've got him and Bradley Beal, and you're 17-28.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know.
And the worst case scenario, you should be the 8th seed. You should be fighting for the 8th spot or something. The playing games or something, Skip.
You should be.
With Bradley Beal probably going to be all NBA.
Yep.
And Russ, Hue Jackson, I think that's his name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great stuff today, guys. Undisputed is back at the same time tomorrow morning. The Herd is on right now. Have a great rest of your day.